Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Oh, we have our exam in our next class. So my plan for today is to finish 7.4, this is 7.4, and then do 7.5. But don't worry about 7.5 because 7.5 is a combination of 7.3 and 4. So if you know well 7.3 and 4, you know what to do in 7.5. That's why our exam will be up to 7.5, even though we are doing the materials today, but you should be okay with the materials because it's based on addition and subtraction. So we are going to do two examples from 7.4, and then we will do 7.5. In 7.3 and 4, we added and subtracted rational. In 7.5, once you add and subtract, you're going to solve it. So to solve, you just have to do one more extra step, actually two extra steps. One is set the equals to 0, and then set the numerator equals to 0, solve for x. Another step is that you should look for always what makes the denominator 0. We cannot have those in our solution because they make the denominator 0, which make the entire thing undefined. Okay. Any question before we start? And I have your exam reflection. Remind me before 10 minutes before our class ends. You're going to do the reflection in class and then turn this in to me before you leave. And this time the reflection is 2 points. Okay. Any question, comments, concern, complaint? The department said you have 3 reflections to do. Then first one and second one is 3 points, and third one is free. You're just going to do it for no point. So I was thinking, well, instead of the third one to be free, not getting any point, I'll give you 1 point in the third one, 2 points in the second one. So in that way, you'll feel encouraged to complete the reflection. Okay. And for the third exam, there will not be any exam correction. Okay. So first exam, second exam is a correction. Third one doesn't have any correction. And then fourth one, we'll decide whether to give you or not to give you. And I should tell you about the purpose behind correction. I actually never done correction in my life. I hated that, but this is the first time I started it. And my goal, or the main goal behind correction, is that whatever you did not understand in the exam, you should understand them because you need them for your final exam. But what many of you did is surprising. You gave me the same wrong answer in the correction, what you did in the exam. So what's the point of the correction? If you didn't learn anything from your correction, do you even deserve any points? You definitely need all that knowledge from the exam for the final exam. Final exam doesn't have any review sheet because I don't make the final exam, department does, but I'm making my exams based on the final exam, previous final exam. So I can at least guarantee if you know all the materials in my exam, you can pass the final exam with a flying color. Kevin.
I mean, but only we do take corrections with, a tutor, so that if
The purpose behind is that your mistake they can catch and they can fix it. They can help you understand it.
right, but so if we're handing them in with mistakes, then that should mean that then also the tutor is wrong as well.
That was surprising. Like, did the tutor make the mistake, or you didn't have time to go over the entire exam with the tutor? What's the reason? Why do I see the same mistake in the exam as the in the correction? So when you go over with the tutor, like, do you go over the entire exam or only a portion? See, I wanted to have the same thing Go over the entire exam because that's the purpose. Learn everything you need to know in the exam.
I want to make it like I want to know for so for the test corrections, I'm 100%, but I don't know these how just do the ones that you put wrong.
That means you already know the correct one, right? So you shouldn't have any mistake at all.
You put like 14 out of 10 first, and then I checked again.
You're 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So let me discuss about that. When I graded, but let's start with the before. So when we open any assignment, we're supposed to give a number to Brightspace. What's the maximum number a student can earn in that assignment? So I was calculating this way. If someone didn't take the exam, he has 0, right? Definitely got 0. So 100 minus 0 is 100. And I said 10% of what you lost. So if you didn't take the exam, you lost all 100%. 10% of 100 is how much? Sorry, 1% of 100 is how much? 10. Sorry. 10% of 100 is 10. So if you didn't take the exam, the maximum anyone can get in this class is 10 points. So that's why I put 10 in Brightspace for the highest, for the maximum number we can get in the exam, the correction. And then, so it doesn't mean you're going to get 10. 10 is the maximum anyone can get. So in that 10, whatever you lost, 10% of that you get. For example, if you, let's say, have only 32 in the exam, okay? So 100 minus 32, you lost 68 points. Now, 10% of the 68 you can get by multiplying by 0.1, 6.8, which is 7. So if you have 32 in the exam, you get 7 in the test correction. Now, with this test correction, I also added the reflection, the 3 points reflection. So if you get 32, then your total point is 10, not because it's the 10% of the correction, it's 10% plus your exam reflection. I didn't get the second one yet. I graded the last one. Did you fill out the reflection? You did? Let me tell you whom I did not receive the reflection from. Reflection. Showers, I didn't receive anything. Anastasia, no reflection. Michaela, no test correction. Only the reflection. Excel, I didn't receive a test correction. Did you submit that? Did you? The first one. The second one is the here. Let me see who is claiming they gave me test card. They gave me reflection. So Excel, I didn't receive a test correction, but you're claiming you submitted on Brightspace or here. Brightspace. Okay, Brightspace test correction. Yusuf, I didn't receive neither test correction nor reflection from you. And then George, I didn't receive either of them. No test correction, no reflection. Did you submit? You sure? Okay. Anna, I didn't receive either one of them from you. No test correction, no reflection. Christopher, no test correction, no reflection. Renan, no test correction. Brenda, I received your test correction, but I think you didn't upload. Did you upload your reflection test correction? Okay. Lily, not here. And then I have everyone else's. So Brenda, you're claiming you have both. George, do you? Okay, so test correction. And who else said something? Excel. You said you submitted reflection. Okay. So for except for you, I have Michaela, you didn't submit your reflection test correction, right? Okay. So yeah, I have to recheck everything then. But that's how I gave the point. And about the 5 and 7 and 14, I don't even know. When I graded everyone, they said 5 points next to your name. So I was like, it definitely should be 10 points. Why they give me 5 points? Anyway, I didn't care about that. Probably they made a mistake. So I put the entire, like, let's say I got 7 points. I put 7. And then when I went back and then checked, I said it's 14. So it's like, I clearly gave 7. How it's 14? So what they did was they took 7 and 5. That means it's 10. It should be 14. So they did all the math by themselves. And I have no idea why they did that. So I had to fix everything manually. So in the next one, I'll be careful. Mm-hmm. No, because you're not supposed to get the total 10 points. 10 point is the maximum anyone can get. No, these are extra points. So these doesn't even affect you at all. Whatever you have in your exam, whatever you have in the reflection and correction, I'm going to add that at the end. So you're gaining points, you're never going to lose points. But I saw this is a confusing thing for everyone. But this is the story behind the. If you didn't take the exam, then you can get 10 points, but you're losing your reflection because if you didn't take the exam, how can you fill out the reflection? You can only get 10 points if you don't take the exam. And also you can get 10 points if you're earning 7 points for the correction and 3 points from the reflection. Then you have 10 points. But that doesn't affect you. I mean, negatively doesn't affect you. That will only affect you positively. So don't worry about the total 10 points. I had to put the maximum number, otherwise you cannot make any assignment on Brightspace. So that's the story. Okay, so let's start with our addition subtraction. We are subtracting. So do you remember what is our first step? What do we do? Denominator. So what is our LCD here? Go ahead, tell me. X plus 3 and x minus 1. So when you cannot divide one of them by other one, you have to multiply for your denominator. So we are missing x minus 1 on the first fraction, so multiply top and bottom. And the second one, we multiply by x plus 3, top and bottom.
We distribute the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you got to distribute the negative sign first.
Mm-hmm. Let me rewrite to make it easier. Okay. So now let's do the distribution.
2x squared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2x.
Mm-hmm. Negative 5 only? Mm-hmm. Good. So instead of distributing on the top, if you rewrite and distribute, you can work with the negative easily. And do not distribute the denominator unless you have a multiple choice that have a denominator distributed form. Let's see, x minus 1.
Now we got to identify any like terms.
Mm-hmm.
For x squared, we're going to leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good.
We have negative 4x, negative 2x,
Mm-hmm.
and negative 5x.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to add all of them.
So how much you get?
Which will be negative 11x.
Negative 11x.
And then you also have like terms, just regular terms, or 15, which is positive 19 there.
Mm-hmm.
Over the separate denominator. That will be our answer. The bump.
Perfect. I just hope you can remember this during the exam.
You remember doing this? Probably not.
I wish you can remember this during exam. Now, you actually always have to check whether the numerator is factorable or not. So if you do want to check which factoring method you have to use. AC, good job. We have a visible A. Anytime you have a visible A, it should be AC. So we had 2 times 19, which is 38. Can you think of two numbers multiplied to 38 combined to 11? We have 1 and 38, first factor. Do you get 11 from the combination? 38 plus 1 is 39. 38 minus 1 is 37. We don't get it. So we are not going to work with 1 and 32. Then we have 2 and 19. 2 plus 19 is 21. And 2 minus 19 is 17. But how much we need? So can you get 11 from 2 and 19? And then that's it. 38 doesn't have any more factors. So it's not factorable. If it's not factorable, you're done. But if it is factorable, then you have to factor. And then you see, can you cancel anything from the denominator and numerator? You cancel. So in the exam, I'm going to give you two questions, two of these. One will be factorable and one will not be factorable. So which way is factorable? You have to factor, cancel, rewrite after you do the addition and subtraction. Any questions so far?
Easy. That's and you also multiply x on that side too. Why do you like the x squared on
We don't have to multiply the denominator. Our goal is to cancel the denominator at the end if possible. So that's why I did not multiply any of the denominators. What do you mean 2x with minus 1? On the denominator? So if you observe, these are the exact same things, right? So when you have the same denominator, we keep the denominator and we combine the numerators. So we started with something that is not same. So we made them same. When you made them same, then you just write them once and then you combine all the numerators. And then you forget about the denominator. Just keep writing it. Don't do anything. Just keep writing it. Because our goal is at the end, when you work with the numerator, can you cancel the numerator with the denominator? Brenda. Huh? Where? Oh, shh. Thank you. Thank you for catching that. Yeah. See, I like that. You're attentive. Thank you, Brenda. So this should be plus. That means this should be minus. And if this is minus, that means I have to reach to the math again. Plus 4 minus 15. When you combine plus 4 and minus 15, we're supposed to get a minus number. How much is plus 4 minus 15? Negative 11. But we conclude the same thing. 11 times 2 is 22. And 22 has 122 and 211. None of them going to give us 11. So it's still not factorable. See, you have to be careful in the exam. Don't make same mistake as mine. Okay, so all these examples from last class and from today, if you notice, all the denominators are a single denominator. We didn't have to do anything on the denominator because they are only one thing. But look at this denominator. They both are factorable. So anytime something is factorable, why it doesn't work? Anytime something, any denominator is factorable, it first there should be factor. What factors we get in the first one?
We got a
Difference of perfect squares. X plus 5, x minus 5. Direct factoring, good. And 5, 5. 125 and 5, 5. So which of these is going to give you 10? Both of them will be negative. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And when you add negative 5 and negative 5, we get negative 10. So when we look for LCD, we take everything that, for example, we have x plus 5 here. Do you have any x plus 5 on the second denominator? So you have to take this x plus 5. And then we have x minus 5 here. Do you have x minus 5 on the second denominator?
yes, ma'am.
So how many of them we have in the second denominator?
2.
And how many we have on the first denominator? No. What's the LCD between x and x squared? Do you remember? Huh? The bigger one. LCD is always the bigger one. The LCD between x and x squared is squared, the bigger one. Now we have x minus 5 is one of them, and x minus 5 squared is one of them. So what would be our LCD? Square, the bigger one. X minus 5, which is square. You don't remove, you compare how many we have, and you take the bigger one. You do not combine them, you take the bigger one. Yusuf, what? Least common denominator. It's a big number that is divisible by all the denominators. So we want 1x plus 5, but 2x minus 5. How many of them we have on the first denominator? X minus 5. One of them. So what is missing? The second one is missing. So we squeeze the second one here, x minus 5. And we also need to multiply the same thing on the numerator. Because we need 2x minus 5 and 1x plus 5. But the first denominator is missing 1x minus 5. So we need to fill that out. Now, what is missing in the second denominator? So we squeeze this here, x plus 5, both numerator and denominator. Anything we don't have, we need to fill them out. And now we are happy, both denominators have the same denominator. So we write it once and we combine our numerators. So let me rewrite and then we're going to distribute. We have x minus 5 minus 2x plus 5. My 5 looks so weird. Okay. Who would like to try the rest? Yusuf. Minus 5x. Minus 10. Perfect. And do not do anything on the denominator. I'll keep warning you guys. Do not try distributing the denominator. Always keep the denominator until the last step. So we have, what do we have? X squared, how much is total? Negative 7x minus 10. And we have x plus 5 and x minus 5 squared. Now this is a tricky one. Can we factor the numerator? Two numbers multiply to negative 10, add up to negative 7. 5 and 2. What sign 5 must have? Minus. Then what sign? So minus 5. What sign 2 must have in order to get negative 7? Minus. So minus 5 minus 2 is minus 7. Good. But if you multiply minus 5 and minus 2, what do you supposed to get? Positive 10. But which 10 we have? Negative 10. So it's not factorable. So it's a tricky one. Be careful about the tricky ones in the exam, especially in the final exam. Sometimes we may see something is factorable, but you have to check both of them, the multiplication and the addition. If one of them fail, it's not factorable with the two numbers you picked. And with this, we are done with addition subtraction. Now, once we know addition subtraction, we are going to solve them. So for solving, we are going to do two things extra. One is we set them equal to 0 and work with the numerator only. Forget about the denominator when you solve. Just ignore. Set the numerator equals to 0, solve for x. That's one thing. And the second thing is you have to see what makes the denominator 0, solve them, and you cannot have them as a solution. For example, from here, what makes the denominator this denominator 0? For which value of x, this term will be 0? 0 plus 5 is 0? No. So which value of x makes the denominator 0? Negative 5. So you cannot have negative 5 as our solution. Which x value makes this denominator 0? Plus 5. So you cannot have plus 5 as our solution. So you have to check what we cannot have in the solution from the denominator and what can be the solution from the numerator. Now let's do some examples, some fun examples. Okay. And usually in the final exam, they give easy questions like this. So same thing, but our first step, remember, solve. Before when I said, when it says solve, what do you want to see in one side? 0, no. Solve automatically tells you to have a 0. Do you have 0 on one side of the equal sign?
I don't know.
So what is our first step, you think?
Move it.
Transfer 8 minus x from both sides. Because we want to see 0 on one side. We have 3, let me do the minus thingy. 3 minus 8 over x plus 4 over x squared equals 0. Why I wrote this way? I wrote increasing order 0x, 1x, 2x. But if you want, you can do x squared, x, and the number. Okay, so now forget about the 0. If you look at the left side, we have x and x squared. What's the LCD between x and x squared? X squared. So we want to have x squared on every denominator. Below 3, we want x squared. So we have to multiply also 3 by x squared. Now below the second one, we have x. What can we multiply by so that this x becomes x squared? Multiply by an x. The third denominator, is this anything missing in our third denominator? We want to have x, and what do we have? So we want to have x squared, and what do we have? X squared. So is there anything missing? No. So do not even bother touching that. We only touch if you're lacking something, if you're missing something. And now we are happy. We have x squared, x squared, x squared. So we write our x squared once and we combine all the numerators. So let me highlight all the numerators for you. This is our first numerator with this sign. This is our second numerator with this sign. And this is our third numerator. So write them on the numerator. 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. And now we must see, is the numerator factorable? So which factoring method we have to use to check? Great, AC. We have a, we have a C. So AC is 3 times 4. That gives us 12. And let me do the weird AC method. In this weird AC method, weird AC, we rewrite 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. We rewrite that using x squared minus 8x plus your AC. Oh, AC is 12 plus 12. And now let's factor directly. Which two numbers multiply to 12 but combine to negative 8? Negative 6, negative 2. Perfect. What is our A again? So which of these is divisible by 3? So we divide the 6 by 3. And since 2 is not divisible, what do we do with the second term, second factor? No, we multiply the variable. So one factor we divide, the other factor we multiply the variable. That means that two factors we have is x minus 2 and 3x minus 2. So we write them here. X minus 2 and 3x minus 2 on the numerator divided by x squared on the denominator. And now we are going to solve. So all these things we did was addition and subtraction. We didn't solve anything. We just added and subtracted, right? Now comes solving. Solve. When we solve, we just have to care about the numerator. So we have x minus 2 and 3x minus 2 equals 0. And now we know what to do because we did it in chapter 6. If the product of two things is 0, one of them must be what? One of them has to be 0. Otherwise, how can the product be 0? Remember I told you 2 times 3 is 0, but sorry, 2 times 3 is 6, but 0 times 2 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0. So if you want to get the result 0, the two things you're multiplying, one of them must be 0. Do we know which one is 0? We don't. So we say, well, probably the first one is 0, or maybe the second one is 0. We don't know which one is 0 because this is x. For number, we know this number is 0. But for variable, we don't know which one is 0. So we said either one, both of them to be 0, and then we see what makes both of them 0. So we solve for x. Add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. So we get x equals 2. This is done. But here we had 3x equals 2. Then what is x? We need to divide by 3. So x is 2/3. So this is our solution. Solution. Go ahead. No, that's why it's weird. We don't need to do grouping. In weird AC method, instead of grouping, we use direct factoring, but we call it AC. We call it weird because once you do by the direct factoring, you need to divide one factor by your a and multiply other variable by a. This is something weird. That is called weird. Okay, so this is our solution. But we also have to check what makes the denominator 0. So if you look at your LCD, what makes this LCD 0? What number will make the denominator 0? X equals what? Denominator will be 0 for which value of x? What's wrong, guys? X equals what will make the denominator 0? 0. That means we cannot have 0 as our solution. Luckily, we don't have 0 as solution. But sometimes we have the denominator as our solution, and that's why you have to check. What makes the denominator 0? We cannot have them in our solution. We call them extraneous solution, whatever makes the denominator 0. So addition, subtraction is same. 2 extra thing. For solving, set the numerator equals to 0. And the second thing is check what makes the denominator 0. Don't have them in the solution. Okay? Any question? Okay, then you try one. And definitely one of these will be in the final. And definitely this will be in the exam. I'm going to take that one. I forgot to take the attendance in last class. So today is 27. Alexander. Okay. Anna, here, but you are absent in last class. Anastasia, you are present in both class. Excel, here in both class. Eileen, Brenda, and you're here in last class, right? Christopher, absent. Hannah, you're absent yesterday, right? Hodo, you're present yesterday also. Jesselyn, here in both classes. Jesus, here in both classes. Jody was present yesterday, absent today. Kevin, always here. Christina, here. Lily, present yesterday, but absent today. Liz Mary, present in all classes. Michaela, were you present yesterday? Marlinda, present in both classes. Naro, present yesterday, absent today. Natasha, were you here yesterday? Peyton, you were here yesterday, right? Phil, were you here yesterday? Renan, you're here, right? Were you here yesterday? You were, right? Sarah, absent yesterday and today. Shawiz, you were here yesterday. And Yusuf, yesterday was absent, today present. Great. See how smart I am. I took attendance for 2 days at the same in one day. George, yeah, you're here. And you were here also yesterday, I remember. How you guys are doing? Okay. I have one more, so let's try both of them. And then we're going to go over and then introduce you to a new type of solving. Well, actually, let's do it together since we have only 20 minutes. And I posted these on Brightspace. So if you want, you can solve from Brightspace without looking at my solution. Brightspace doesn't have any solution. It has only the questions. So you can redo the questions, and then when you get stuck, watch the recording for the solution. Okay, so let me take volunteers. Starting with Natasha. What's the first step? 72 minus x squared from both sides. So what did you write in the next line? Plus 1. Let me write the plus 1 here. So we have order 1x and then 2x and then plus no x. The order doesn't matter, but it will be helpful to factor if you have the order at the beginning. Jasleen, what's the LCD? X squared. So what did you do with the first denominator? So x squared on the top, x squared on the bottom, and the second denominator. So third one we don't touch. So we have x squared plus x minus 72. And this time we don't have to do AC method. It's simple. Christina, would you like to give me the two factors? X plus 9, x minus 8 over x squared. So far we just added and subtracted. We didn't do any solving. Malinda, when you go to solving, what do you do? X plus 9, 0, x minus 8, 0. So what is our first x? Great. And what is our second x? Positive 8. Perfect. Now we have to check what makes the denominator 0. Let me make it red. It's dangerous. What makes the denominator 0? George, what number makes the denominator 0? Your denominator is x squared, right? So what makes the denominator 0? X equals 0 makes the denominator 0. So you cannot have them in our answer. Luckily, we don't have that. But it will not be always the case. Sometimes that number that makes the denominator 0 will be in our solution. That's why you have to check always. So you don't want the denominator to be 0. Great, that was easy. If you're lucky, you're going to see one of these in the final. All of these are final questions. Okay, the next one is the first step is already done for us because you can see the 0. So you're happy. Michaela, would you like to start? What is the LCD? Good job, x squared. So what do we write on the first denominator? Remember, we want to have the same denominator on every denominator, x squared. So since we put x squared here, what do you have to do with the 5? Also x squared. And how about the second denominator? We are missing an x, so I multiply. Do we do anything with the third denominator? No. So what do we have when you combine all the numerators? What do we write? -3. So we are done with addition. Now it's time to factor. But which factoring method we have to use? AC. So who would like to try the AC method? Who is really bad at this AC method? I remember you got it wrong in the first exam. So go ahead. First exam or second exam, yeah. So AC means 5, -3 we have. Good. So what two numbers? Oh, so let me write this first. We have 5x. No, we don't write 5 anymore. So I remember this as you did everything correctly, but at the end, why keep writing 5? Come on. At the end, you forgot what to do with your A. So I'm not belittling you. I'm just telling you, reminding you. 2x. What do we write instead of 3? 15. So what two factors we have? 3 and 5. +5 and -3. And now comes your A. What do you do with this A? Tell me in words. Where? Tell me the one. Which parenthesis? So do you multiply or do you divide? So you're still making the same mistake. We have 5 and 3, right? Which one is divisible by A? So you need to divide. Whatever is divisible by A, divide by A, that number. Now, since 3 is not divisible by A, so what do you do here with your 5? Multiply the entire thing or only the x? Only the x. Good. That's why I'm helping you. With this method, see your answer is only in 2 lines. You can get the answer. But in grouping methods, the answer is in 4 lines. So which one you prefer? 2 lines answer or 4 lines answer? See, 4 lines? No problem because you're used to the AC method. I was also used to the AC method, but once I learned this, I was like, cool. So what two factors we have at the end? What is our final factor? Yusuf. Right. When you divide 5.5, what do you get? One. So what is this factor now? X plus? So our first factor is x plus 1. And what is our second factor? 5x minus 3. That's it. 2 lines math and you get your answer. So we are done with addition and subtraction. And now comes the solving part. Solve. Yusuf, how do you solve? What do you do? That is sorry. Shawaiz. How do you solve? What do you do in solving process? Good. 5x minus 3 equals 0. X equals -1. No, +3 plus 3. So x equals 3/5. No, leave it alone. Excel, how do you find what makes the denominator 0? Denominator cannot be 0. So what is the denominator? Just look at LCD. LCD will give you the denominator. What is the LCD? Square. So you don't want your x squared to be 0. So x cannot be what number? 0. Fortunately, we don't have x in our solution, so we are safe. With the denominator 0. and you have that in the solution, you're going to disregard that. Just like the time question we did, when you have time equals negative, we solved it, but then at the end we have to disregard that. We don't want denominator to be zero. So denominator cannot be zero. Not equal means cannot be. Denominator cannot be zero. So what is the denominator? The LCD. So LCD cannot be zero. But for this x, what makes this x zero? X equals zero. So in other words, when you solve the denominator or the LCD, you look for what makes that LCD zero. We cannot have them in our solution. And you may wonder, why I keep telling you this? Well, here comes the example where we have to be careful. Something like this. It's based on the last example we did for addition subtraction. And you're going to have one of these in the exam and one of these in the exam. Now, if you simplify like I did, then you don't have to worry about the denominator, because in the simplification, you're going to cancel anywhere. But depending on how you learn for the first time, that habit you always carry on. So if you don't have the habit of doing my way and you do your way, then at the end, you have to be careful about the denominator. Okay. So we can do one method in many different ways. But if you stick with one method, and I'm showing you that one perfect method, not perfect actually, one method that will be most useful, if you stick with that, then you don't have to worry about the denominator. Okay. Okay, so you're going to do the exact same thing what we did before. One is to solve. What number you have to see on one side of the equal sign? Do you see zero anywhere? So what is our first step? Only 4? Okay. So either bring the right side to the left side or bring the left side to the right side. Change everything to one side. It's up to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to move 2 terms or do you want to move 1 term? It's on you. Okay. So since we have the habit of moving the right side, so no problem. Let's move the right side. We're subtracting this and we're subtracting this from both sides. So we have x over x plus 6, and we are subtracting 72 over x squared minus 36, and we are subtracting 4 equals 0. So I'm too lazy to write all of them, so I just put subtraction. Okay, so x plus 6 is single. We don't have to worry about that. But how about x squared minus 36? Is it factorable? Perfect square. Good job. So what two factors we get? X plus 6, x minus 6. So we have one of the denominator is x plus 6. The other denominator is x plus 6, x minus 6. So if you compare them, what is our LCD? Definitely x plus 6 because we have one of them and one of them. So we take one of them. And also x minus 6 because this is extra. Anytime you see anything extra, you have to keep it. You want to have everything from all the denominators in our common denominator. So this denominator is missing x minus 6. So I multiply numerator and denominator. The second denominator, are we missing anything? The second denominator? It's perfect, so don't touch. How about 4? What do we want below 4? Both of them, x plus 6, x minus 6. So we multiply both x plus 6, x minus 6. And now we are happy. We have both of them on every denominator. So we go ahead and combine all the numerators, including their signs. So we have x minus 6 minus 72 minus 4 times x plus 6, x minus 6, and then the right side is 0. We distribute this, what do you get? X squared minus 6x. Then we have minus 72. Now here we are multiplying three things, -4, this and that. When you multiply three things, multiply two first and then the other one. So let's multiply these two first. I will change the color. When you multiply x plus 6, x minus 6, what do you get? Without using FOIL, how do you?
X, 2,
FOIL. Yeah. Anytime you multiply to conjugates, remember I said you have to FOIL, because what you need to do is first term minus second term square. So that's why I choose the first two, the last two. We get x squared minus 36 from here. So basically you're multiplying -4 times x squared minus 36. We have the same denominator, x plus 6, x minus 6 equals 0. So this time let's distribute this. I hate writing everything. X squared minus 6x minus 72. And after the distribution of -4, what do you get? -4x squared. And then what is 36 times 4? 144? Wow, you remember that. I don't. 4 times 6 is 24. We have 4, so you have 2 and addition. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And he has done it perfectly. 144. Did I tell you about the 26 square? In one of the exam, during one semester, I gave a question where you have to find 26 square. Okay, number 26 square. You have to find it. So you know how picky I am about showing work. So one of the students, he did everything perfectly without showing any work. And I was like, really? And he wasn't a brilliant student. He was not a brilliant student. So I was like, okay, two choices. Either he cheated or he just memorized it. So I was almost writing on his exam, like, you cheated. And then I changed my mind. I was like, no, let me first test him and then I'll write he cheated. So the next day, before giving the exam, I asked him directly, like, just by entering the class, hey, what is 26 square? Tell me. Surprisingly, he told me the entire thing. What is 26 square? I don't even know. Let me see. 26 times 26. Oh, no, not 26 square, a big number, 46. It was a 4-digit solution, 4-digit number. 46 square, 46 times 46. Yeah, probably 46 times 46. And surprisingly, he gave me this 4-digit number by memorization. I was like, huh? 46 times 46. You know what is 46 square? I'm like, yeah, I know 46 square. I was really shocked. Like, who in the art can memorize 46 square? I was like, why did you memorize 46 square? Like, I don't know. I just memorized it. I just know it. Like, wow. Yeah. Like sometimes he gave all the answers, like he sounded like prodigy, but his exam score really bad. And his class performance, like anytime I ask him a question, he couldn't able to answer. But so that's why I was like still confused. Like, did he cheat or how does he remember all these things? Like some students always confuse me like that. But anyway, I learned my lesson. So from that moment, I never write you cheated. I just write, if you didn't cheat, prove me, show me by doing another example in front of me. Then I'll give you the points. So I give them opportunity. But anyway, so see, 36 stands for thank you, Yusuf. Otherwise, in the exam, I would have thought you cheated. Okay, so we combine like terms. We have x square and minus 4x square. How much we have? X square minus 4x square is? Come on, guys. Your exam is day after tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, like within few days. X square minus 4x square is negative 3x square. And then do you have any other like terms? 72 and 144. What do you get from 72 and 144? Minus, you have same sign. So if you add 72, you get 6, 11, 2. 144 should be positive. Yeah, thank you. So plus 72. And our middle term is negative 6x. We didn't do anything. X. Before you go for SE, first you have to check. So solving comes here. Solve. Oh, before solving, sorry. We have to factor. Before you go for AC, what do you observe? There is a GCF. And what else? Your polynomial starts with what sign? So you have to factor out a negative. And what is your GCF? Huh? Negative 3. So all these numbers, they are divisible by 3. So you have to factor out negative 3. We get positive x squared, positive 2x. And do you know what is 72 divided by 3? Negative 24. I'm trusting him, okay? I didn't check, so I'm trusting him. X plus 6, x minus 6 equals 0. So with this, we are done with addition subtraction. No, we are not. We still have to factor this. So what two factors we get? This time it's direct factoring. We're almost done, okay? Don't rush, almost done. X plus 6, x minus 6. So which two numbers multiply to 24 combined to 2? The sign? Positive 6, negative 4. Good. And then what do you observe? Cancel. Since it canceled, so you don't have to worry about the denominator because we canceled it. We have negative 3, x minus 4, and then x minus 6 equals 0. So we are done with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, everything. And now comes our solving part. We take the numerator and we set it equals to 0. Does negative 3 have any x next to that? No, it's a single negative 3. So is it useful or useless? So we get rid of all the useless things. We don't need them. We have x minus 4 equals 0. That gives us positive 4. So if you do this way, you don't have to worry about the denominator. Why? Because we already cancel whatever we have problem with. But if you don't do this, if you change the numerator, let me just show you real quick. If don't simplify, then you take the numerator, negative 3, x plus 6, x minus 4 equals 0. So we get x plus 6, 0, x minus 4, 0. That gives us x is negative 6 and x is 4. You get two solutions. If you don't simplify, you get two solutions, right? Now look at our denominators. Denominator. The first denominator is x plus 6. If this denominator cannot be 0, x cannot be what number? Negative 6. But look, we have negative 6 our solution. So can you accept negative 6 our solution? No. So if you don't simplify, you have to look for a denominator and disregard what makes the denominator 0. Whatever makes the denominator 0, we call them extraneous solution. So this is what I wrote here for extraneous solution. So in the exam, I didn't tell you what will be in the exam. Give me 1 second to tell you what will be in the exam. Reflection. Oh man, I wanted you to fill out in class, but you can take home and then give me in the next class. Stephanie, can you distribute? Exam 2. Thank you. So what will be in the exam? Let me tell you real quick. This exam has around 10 questions. Revision 3. Quick. Twister. Bring this a twister. Okay, so in the exam, 1, trial and guess. And I'm going to give big numbers, okay? So you must show your work. And I want to use trial because without big numbers, it will be hard. Without trial, it will be hard for you to factor big numbers. So 1, big numbers, trial and error. 1, solving quadratic. So 2 questions. 1 of these. Thank you so much. 1 of these. And if you have space, I'll give you 2. Now combining 5, 6, and 7. Combining them, I'm going to give you 2 to 3. Okay? I may give you 2, I may give you 3. But definitely 2. 1 for multiplication, 1 for division, definitely. And in multiplication, division, you have to use the simplifying information. Okay, so same denominator, 1. Different denominators, 1. Addition, subtraction. Now for solving, 1 with this easy type and 1 with extraneous solution type. So total how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Definitely 9. And if I have space, then I'm going to give you 1 or 2 more. Extra credit? Wait, I can make 1 extra credit and 1 non-extra credit. Yeah, makes sense.
9%?
Not definitely 9. And then if I have space, I'll give you more. Good luck, guys. This time, remember, we have that answer key on the review sheet. So make sure you do all the questions and check your answer. And bring your reflection in our next class before exam.